Oh, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to UFC, MMA Fighting's UFC 298 official morning weigh-ins live stream. This is the voice of Alexander Kaley, but you already knew that. I am here to bring you today's festivities, but... Sorry, guys, a bit of breaking news came in. But boots on the ground in Anaheim, California is the one and only E. Casey Leiden. The man has been there. There you go. The man has been there this whole week, providing you with excellent, beautiful video of the wild and crazy antics that we've seen throughout. We'll see if we have any wild and crazy antics today. We're about a minute out, so let me announce now. We just heard that Justin Tafa and Marcos Rogerio de Lima is off due to a Justin Tafa injury. So we already have news. We have a cancellation. Casey, we may need to update the graphic and take that off, I guess. I don't know. Maybe De Lima's going to weigh in to get a paycheck. I'm not sure. But we are down a fight already. Big time bummer. Big time bummer. Hopefully no more cancellations, no misses. We are seconds away, I would say. There we go.
UFC 298 Volkanovski versus Topuria, and we will begin with the man around whom this fight card was built. The consensus greatest featherweight of all time, the undisputed UFC champion, Alexander the Great Volkanovski.
Rob, have the next one. Can we close it out the way, please? No, we need to see him. But we got embedded shooting.
144 and a half.
Right here, Volk.
144 and a half. Official weight for Alexander Volkanovski.
144.5 for Alexander Volkanovski. No problem making featherweight. He is the featherweight king, guys. And of course, the first to
All
win.
right, the next man to weigh in, the other gentleman around whom this fight card was built, the undefeated title challenger and third-ranked featherweight contender, Ilia Topuria.
Well, they just put this on us 2 seconds ago. Rod, see, put Brendson at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, because when I go, I gotta go right.
144 and a half.
Right here, Ilia.
144.5. I don't know if you guys can hear. This is one of the loudest morning weigh-ins I have ever heard. As John Anik just said, the featherweight championship main event is now official.
Our next athlete to the scale, competing in a prelim in the light heavyweight division, Brendson Ribeiro.
There are about, I'd say, 100 people here, right behind me, cheering on Ilia.
Brendson Ribeiro.
Roger. Top of the stairs, Obar. Top of the stairs. Somebody. Nobody can see.
205 and a half.
Right
205
here.
and a half. The official weight for Brendson Ribeiro.
2, 1. Thank you.
Brendson Ribeiro, 205.5. He's waiting for Zhang Mingyang.
Our next fighter to weigh in is his opponent in this light heavyweight prelim.
And there he is. Zhang Mingyang.
Top of the stairs, Miranda.
$204 and a half. 204 and a half. The official weight for Zhang Mingyang.
204.5 for Zhang Mingyang. His fight with Brendson Ribeiro is official.
All right, next athlete to the scale, competing in a flyweight prelim, Miranda Fear the Maverick.
got Miranda Maverick, who faces Andrea Lee.
Top of the stairs, Geoff.
126 even.
Right here, Miranda.
126, the official weight for Miranda Maverick.
126 on the dot. Miranda Maverick using the 1 pound allowance. No problem there.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing
That's what
live
it's
on
for.
the pay-per-view main card, the number 8 ranked UFC welterweight contender, Geoff Hands of Steel Neal.
Contract weight is
Here's
131.
Geoff Neal. A lot of people are going to be rooting for Geoff Neal on Saturday. That is for sure.
Right here, baby.
170 and a half, the official weight for Geoff Neal.
170.5 for Geoff Neal. Let's not forget Geoff Neal did miss weight for his last fight with Shavkat, but I think that was an extenuating circumstances. He's on point here.
Future Hall of Famer, former UFC middleweight champion, Robert Whittaker.
Contract weight is 186.
Here he is. The Reaper, Robert Whittaker.
Let's bring the next one out, Roger Raj. Thank you, babe. They taking their time over there? Right here, Robert.
185 and a half, the official weight for Robert Whittaker.
Thank you, babe.
185.5 for Robert Whittaker. We all wait with bated breath for Paulo Costa.
The co-main event, former world title challenger, the number 6 ranked middleweight contender, Paulo Costa.
That's Costa.
And there he is.
Contract weight is 186.
Right here, Paulo.
185 and a half, the official weight for Paulo Costa.
185.5 for Paulo Costa. Looks happy. Get that secret juice up there. We need to get secret juice up on that.
And this
On our
fight
board
is
there.
what?
Oh, that
Fight
fight
is
is now
Fighters
official.
to weigh in this morning competing in the welterweight division, Oban Elliott.
Contract weight is
I'm excited. Oh, here is Oban Elliott, who we'll talk about Oban Elliott in a second. His team being hilarious, I think, on social media, but we'll see.
Right here,
170 and a half, the official weight for Oban Elliott.
170.5 for Oban Elliott. Don't believe Twitter, guys. Don't believe Twitter ever. Silliness. Absolute silliness.
All right, next fighter to the scale, charged with kicking off the pay-per-view main card, the number 15 ranked middleweight in the world, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez.
Here is Fluffy. Looks like there's a little bit of conversation happening here.
Ooh, do we get to bring out the Riz Pharma box
I
of
don't.
shame?
I.
Contract weight is 186.
Well done, Casey.
Thank you. Respect the sponsors.
$185 and a half, the official weight for Anthony Hernandez.
185.5 for Anthony Hernandez. Big middleweight fight to open the UFC 298 main card. We're cruising here. Let's see who else. I think we'll get Merab or Cejudo soon.
His opponent in that pay-per-view main card opener, winner of his last 4,
Oh.
Roman Kopylov.
But first, Fluffy's opponent, Roman Kopylov.
Contract weight is 186.
Right here, Roman.
185 pounds for Roman Kopylov.
2, 1. Thank you.
185 for Roman Kopylov. His fight with Fletcher Hernandez is now official.
All right, next fighter to weigh in this morning, competing in a prelim in the welterweight division, Josh Quinlan.
Here's Josh Quinlan. Still no Merab nor Henry Cejudo. We have got some meticulous weighing in today, guys. This is not Las Vegas. Step on the scale, dude just slams it home. We have 3 gentlemen inspecting the fighter and the scale.
Right here, Josh.
169, the official weight for Josh Quinlan.
3, 2.
169 for Josh Quinlan. Look, I love weigh-ins as much as the next fan. This seems a bit excessive, doesn't it? Do we need to... I'm kind of missing the scale slamming, to be honest. But
All right, next
California
athlete to the
Quality
scale,
Commission.
also competing in a welterweight prelim, Val Woodburn.
Here is Val Woodburn, the subject of a very spicy wager on No Bets Barred. I'll see if I can get around to mentioning that. Let's see what Val comes in at first here.
Right here, Val.
169 and a half, the official weight for Val Woodburn.
169.5 for Val Woodburn. His fight with Oban Elliott. That's official. Still waiting on
Next
Merab. Still
fighter
waiting on
to the
Cejudo.
stage, competing live on pay-per-view, the number 10 ranked UFC welterweight contender, the future, Machado Garry.
Here is everyone's favorite, the uncontroversial Machado Garry. Universally beloved. Not criticized by anyone. No rivals.
That's the back
170 and a half, the official weight for Machado Garry.
170.5 for IMG. And yes, at last, his fight with Geoff Neal is official. Had to wait a while for this one, but there it is.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the featured prelim, recent world title challenger and the number 3 ranked strawweight in the world, Amanda Lemos.
Here's Amanda Lemos. Very intriguing fight for her. She was supposed to fight Tatiana Suarez, but Mackenzie Dern stepping in on short notice for an injured Tatiana Suarez. We don't think Suarez will be out for long, fingers crossed. But Dern jumping on this opportunity.
Right here, Amanda.
115 and a half for Amanda Lemos.
115.5 for Amanda Lemos.
What was it? What was it?
All right, next athlete
Still
on
waiting
the
on-
scale
oh,
is the
could be her
combat
opponent?
sports legend and former 2-division UFC champion.
Oh, Lord.
Now the number 3 ranked bantamweight contender, Triple C, Henry Cejudo.
Triple C, possibly quadruple C in the near future if he has his way.
Even.
Right here, babe.
135, the official weight for the former champ, Henry Cejudo.
135 for Cejudo. Looking good. Looking good. Always looks good on the scale, I'll tell you. One thing you cannot question. Well, I guess earlier in his career, I should say earlier in his career, has some trouble, but
Next fighter, the heavyweight
not
prelim
anymore.
between Rogerio de Lima and Justin Tafa is off. We will proceed with 11 fights here on Saturday night.
There you go, guys. There's the official word. I'll pin that to the top of the. I know.
Our next
Gonna
fighter
who
to
bite-
the scale, competing
I'll
in
pin
a
that to the top of the chat when I get a
welterweight
chance.
out of Memphis, Tennessee, Danny Barlow.
Danny Barlow.
$171.
171, the official weight for Danny Barlow.
171 for Danny Barlow, and his fight with Josh Quinlan is official.
All right, next athlete to the stage, competing in the bantamweight division, Rinya Nakamura.
Contract weight is 136.
Rinya Nakamura. A lot of people excited about this young man. Has all the makings of a blue chip prospect. Fantastic wrestling pedigree. Has dedicated himself to MMA now. I think he's only about 26 years old. Another name added to this loaded bantamweight division.
$135.5.
Right here, Rinya.
135 and a half, the official weight for Rinya Nakamura.
Rinya, here.
135.5 for Rinya Nakamura.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Is that 135 even?
All right, next
The
fighter to
biggest
scale,
favorite on the
competing
card.
in the pay-per-view man card, the number 2 ranked bantamweight contender, Merab Dvalishvili.
Here comes Merab Dvalishvili. His team super loud.
Contract weight is 136. $135.
Right here.
135 on the dot.
Thank you, Merab.
Let's let Merab cook here.
Viva Mexico. Viva Mexico.
Goodness me. His fight with Henry Cejudo is official.
All right, next fighter to the stage, also in the bantamweight
It's-
division, out of Ecuador, Carlos Vera.
Carlos Vera, the 36-year-old debutante, world famous after his appearance on The Ultimate Fighter 31. Casey, you and I were just talking about it before the show. A household name, really, after being on that program. Stepping in on short notice here.
$135.5.
Right here, Carlos.
Official weight
5, 4,
135 and a half for Carlos Vera.
Thank you, babe.
135.5 for Carlos Vera. Well done. His fight with Rinya Nakamura is now official.
All right, next fighter to the scale, the number 15 ranked UFC flyweight, Andrea KGB Lee.
Here's the veteran Andrea Lee.
125 and a half.
Right hand,
125 and a half, the official weight for Andrea Lee.
125.5 for Andrea Lee. Her fight, Miranda Maverick, official. Guys, we are only waiting for one. Yes, the Lima Tafa fight is off. Let me put that up there so people can see. We're just waiting on Mackenzie Dern. And it sounds like she's there.
Can you imagine the morning show has like 2 hours to just talk?
Let me just update people here. Yes, Justin Tafa versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima is off due to a Tafa injury, guys. So I will let you guys know. Let's pin that to the top of the comments here. And now you guys know, I see a lot of people asking. That fight will not be happening, guys. That fight is gone. There you go. There it is. And if you really need to see, we got the big red. Yeah, throw it in there, Casey. Stamp that on there. Get your cyber stamp and put that on there. Okay. Too much? Too much? I think maybe. It looks like the whole event is canceled now, based on how big that is, and I think that's a bit misleading. There we go. Okay. I wanted to say, as our boy, our Tough 31 boy, Carlos Vera, weighed in there, the biggest underdog in the card by a mile, plus 800 on DraftKings. So if you're feeling froggy and you think Carlos Vera can follow this upset, go for it. I would strongly recommend against. There's a reason Rinya Nakamura is so heavily favored. Minus 1350 for Nakamura. If you bet $1, I think you win a half a cent. I think you bet $1 on Rinya Nakamura. So maybe just stay away from that fight. Maybe just make that, that's just an enjoy that fight and see how it goes, because Nakamura is definitely one to watch. But there you go, guys. You can see the graphic on screen. I'll do a rundown in a second. We are all good on all the weights, just waiting for Mackenzie Dern.
Canceled heavyweight prelim between Marcos Rogerio de Lima and Justin Tafa. It was an injury on the Tafa side, forcing the cancellation of that bout.
There you go. John Anik just confirming that, yes, it is unfortunately a Justin Tafa injury, which is why we are not getting Tafa versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. So a little disappointing there. I think 12 fight card I thought was fine. 11 fight card, even better, I guess. Casey, we're finally catching our breaths here. Do you have anything you'd like to say after this thrilling run of 20 minutes in? We're almost done.
The crowd. We have an audience here. There's more people here than a UFC Apex card. Let me just say that. It's 9 in the morning. Yeah. There are more people here than a UFC Apex card. So, the crowd, it brings energy. This is good. This is all fun. I love it. But I'm going to do a little work, so just talk.
All right, we're down to me, guys. Feel free to leave your comments. Normally, I would say leave comments and questions for later. But if you got comments and questions now, go ahead, because I don't know. We could, Mackenzie Dern could be right around the corner. We could see her in 30 seconds. We could see her in 30 minutes. I have no idea. Mackenzie Dern, of course, has a pretty long history of weigh-in drama, though not in recent years. In recent years, she has done a great job of having no issues stepping to the scale. It's really an earlier thing in her career. Again, she is taking this fight on short notice. Let's note that it is on 32 days notice, around that, depending when she actually signed the contract. But when we heard about it, about 32 days ago, a little over a month ago, she'd be stepping in for Tatiana Suarez. So don't know if that's going to affect the weight cut. You have to imagine it would a little bit, but again, has not had much of an issue. Again, guys, go ahead, leave some questions. Ed Soto wants to know what happened to Tafa. Again, we don't know exactly. John Anik just confirmed that it was an injury. We do have a report coming up on MMAfighting.com. My best friend Mike Heck is on that story right now, so we might get a few more details.
I did see Mr. Tafa walking around, but he wasn't jumping around doing cartwheels, so I couldn't tell if he was injured. But he wasn't like his leg was broken, but he was walking around. Right. So I don't know what the injury was. I thought he was walking to, just to check in for weigh-ins, but I guess he was walking down here to say, I can't fight. I don't know, but that's all I can say from my own 2 eyes, what I saw.
Casey, I need those eyes put to good use again, because Joseph Boza has a good question. Do we know if there's a backup for Volk versus Ilia? I haven't heard anything about it. Casey, I don't know. You're on site. Have you heard? Is there someone at 145 that's able to step to the scale today, just in case?
That would be Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
Marcos Rogerio Lima is going
Yeah,
to cut about 120 pounds
yeah. Well, I
and be eligible for the fight.
I think he'll take the 20% missed weight. You know, take the
Yeah, yeah.
20% fine, but
It's a hard hit.
he is the backup fighter. So, but I don't think they're gonna need him. So I think we're gonna be good. Same positive.
Um,
But
yeah.
I do not see any other 35ers who are here. I'm sorry, not 35ers, 45ers.
45ers. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's none on the card either. There's no other featherweight fights in the card, so they couldn't just slot in a random featherweight. So but we've been surprised before, guys. We have had weigh-in days where we see someone come up and we're like, oh, cool, it's Brian Ortega or something, and it's like, well, I guess he's weighing in instead of fighting a year again. So it happens. It happens. I have not heard anything. So it sounds like they're pretty confident this fight's just gonna happen. But we'll see. We'll see if backup roll up there. Who are your dogs for tomorrow? That's a great question. I'm not a great gambler, guys. For the most part, I'm staying away from this card. Let me check who the dogs are. Even actually, if anyone has looked at odds on DraftKings, there's a lot. A lot of them are pretty close. It's a lot of like minus 150s, plus 150s. Outside of some of the matchups I've already mentioned. DC, are we still waiting for Mackenzie Dern? Yes, Mackenzie Dern, the last one we're waiting for. Who are some good dogs for tomorrow? Well, if you listen to No Bets Barred, our dear Connor Burks is quite in on Val Woodburn. So that episode of No Bets Barred came out on Wednesday, which, as we all know, was on Valentine's Day. So he was feeling the Valentine's Day energies, and he thinks Valentine's Day will actually be tomorrow night. He thinks it'll be Valentine Woodburn Day, and he will score an upset win over Oban Elliott. Again, not how I'm picking it. I've got Oban winning that one. But Val Woodburn is a plus 260 underdog. So if you're down with GC and Jed, Jed also did not go, as I just say. If you're down with GC, veteran gambler, it's got a feeling. He thinks it's going to be Valentine's Day, a late Valentine's Day. Splashed a couple of bucks on Val Woodburn. I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. He might have even said Woodburn by KO, got some extra juice out of it. I shouldn't even be telling you guys this, but just trying to see who else. Brendson Ribeiro's kind of an underdog to Zhang Mingyang, depending where you look. It's pretty much a pick 'em, so it's really not worth mentioning. Again, Carlos Vera, biggest in the card, plus 800. Stay away. Stay away. Anything can happen in MMA. Rinya might go in there and stub his toe in 10 seconds, but again, I don't have that kind of cash, so he's splashing 20 bucks on a plus 800 underdog. If you do, more power to you. Mackenzie Dern, a slight underdog. So I think a lot of people are going to like that action. She does have obviously she has a great ground game. Amanda Lemos, not the best fighter defensively, but she does punch really hard. And I like her in the striking against Mackenzie. Can she stop Mackenzie Dern's takedowns? Or more importantly, can Mackenzie Dern consistently take someone down in a fight? It's been one of the big sticking points of her career. If she does, it's a pretty clear win for Mackenzie Dern. Either way, very close odds there. Plus 114 Dern. Kopylov's an underdog to Hernandez. There's a lot of intriguing underdogs here, guys. But again, they're underdogs for a reason. Remember, people smarter than us make these odds. So I'm just reading these out because the question was asked. I'm not saying jump on these. People know more than I do. People know more than we do. Cejudo is an underdog. I'm not sure if you'll know that. Plus 195. Cejudo an underdog. And Geoff, Neal, Paulo Costa, and Topuria all underdogs. So these are close matchups, guys. If you got a better feel for this than I do, feel free to jump on those, make some plus money. But hey, definitely take Jed Meshu's advice. He always tells me, never parlay underdogs. Singles only, people. Singles only. Don't parlay underdogs. I know it's tempting to go like Paulo Costa and Geoff Neal and Cejudo and, oh, you're going to be a millionaire. Guys, they're all underdogs for a reason. So don't parlay underdogs. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I missed some questions here. To Carol Man is asking, isn't the fight with Lemos and Dern a catch weight of 130? Not as far as I know. If it is, that's news to Amanda Lemos because she came in at 115.5, and on UFC.com it is listed as a strawweight bout. So that would have been nice. Also, 130 would have been way higher. Strawweight bout, not a flyweight bout. So definitely not. As far as I know, there's no catch weight arrangement. What else we got here? Casey, anything jumping out at you? I know you're working on something. Oh, okay. Pro Fights Info wants to know. What's up, Pro Fights Info? Do you guys think it would be a good idea if the UFC had separate announced crews for the prelims and main card? Maybe 3 separate crews for big events like UFC 300 with early prelims. I'll lean towards no. I think a lot of fans who come in and watch from the very first fight to the
Yes,
last like having the same crew.
big yes,
Oh
big
yes,
yes,
yes, you think they should. I
yes,
and I'll explain that side of it in a second. I'll say why
big
I'm leaning no. I do think there's a
big yes.
familiarity. Hold on. No other sport does this, for one thing. I was going to say, no other sport will change broadcasters mid stream, as it were. It can be very disorienting to the viewer. It can be very disorienting to the viewer. However,
That is
as I'm
untrue.
sure,
That is untrue. Boxing does it all the time.
Mhm.
Showtime, HBO
Oh,
Boxing did it all the time. The
oh,
prelims had a
I
different
meant,
announcer than the main crew.
I meant, I meant real sports,
Oh,
not fake, not
apologies.
fake no jujitsu fighting. Good point. Yes, sure. I'm sorry. I meant nothing outside of combat sports, dude. I'm sorry. No other. But also, most most sporting events outside of combat sports, except maybe cricket, don't last 4+ hours. Even baseball anymore. Baseball with the new clock rules doesn't even last that long anymore. So I can understand why they wouldn't want to. There's just a consistency thing, and the viewers who are tuned in, they're just used to hearing the same voices. But when you talk about 7-8 hours and like 5 hours in, you can hear even the most experienced guys now, Daniel Cormier or Michael Bisping or Paul Felder. You can feel the energy waning a little bit. That's when you think to yourself, "Wow, what if they just had a separate crew, like you said, for the prelims, and then bring a
But
different crew for the main
but
events?"
the UFC is very good at making money, and if you have two announce crews, that means you have to pay two announce crews. That means you have to fly in two announce crews. That means you have to put two
Yes.
announce crews in hotels. And aha.
I would think most of the. I will say though, I would think most of the announced crews are salaried at this point. So aside from the, like you said, paying for the travel and amenities and all that, surely they can't be cost them extra to do more shows. Like that would be my argument for it, is that if they're
Wait.
salaried,
So UFC's paying announce crews to sit at home?
not necessarily, but let's say they're paying Laura. I would think Laura Sanko's not working, for example, is not getting paid per gig. I would hope she's getting like an extra check maybe for doing pay per view, but I don't know if that's true. I think we'd have to talk to Laura about that and get some info on that. I would think that she's paid for her normal broadcast duties, and when she gets the opportunity to work a pay per view, that's just part of that's just part of your current deal. You are on call to do broadcasting. Again, I could be wrong. Could be a nice pay per view bump. That'd be nice. I just don't know if that's necessarily in her contract, but yes, if it didn't cost the UFC too much money, it would be a good idea. But Casey's right. If they can save the money, save the logistics, why would the UFC do it? They're not. If it's not broke, don't break it. Remember, that's the UFC's motto, pretty much, in all regards. So there you go. Everyone, we are still waiting on Mackenzie Dern. I'm sorry I didn't do a rundown, but we do have plenty of time, and I will give you one of those soon. Max Rabkin, is this the fastest Wayne show to this point? To this point, no. We've had a lot of shows where you get like 90% of the fighters show up in the first half an hour, and then you wait for like 2 or 3 people. So hopefully that's not what's going on with Mackenzie today. I do want to say the fastest ever, I don't have the exact number or event, but it was some fight night card, and it clocked in something like 35 minutes where they actually got everyone in, and it was a magical day. It was a magical day. All right, where else are we going, guys? Why we got more questions? Casey, anything jumping out at you here? I see a lot of people saying don't bet on Mackenzie Dern. Yeah, well, with fight night weights in California, who's going to put on the most percentage-wise? That's a good question. Previously, it was Paulo Costa. If anyone remembers, Paulo Costa fought Yoel Romero in California. And surprisingly, I think it was Paulo who put on even more weight than Romero. Romero's a huge guy. I believe it was Paulo Costa was the biggest. And he was actually advised, I don't think it's like mandatory. I remember Paulo Costa was advised to move up to light heavyweight, which he did for the Luke Rockhold fight a bit later, but I think that's unrelated. I think that was, not the Luke Rockhold fight, the Marvin Vettori fight. He did for the Marvin Vettori fight. I think that was unrelated though. So it's interesting that he is coming back to California, still weighing in at 185. He would be a front runner for me. He does look less bulky than usual. You guys be the judge. I thought he's looking a lot more cut. I'm not seeing really any excess fat on this guy. That secret juice is working its magic. So it could be Paulo Costa. He'd definitely be up there. I'm trying to look at the rest of these names. None of these people are super gigantic. Josh Quinlan's pretty big, actually. I think Josh Quinlan maybe. Paulo Costa is the safe answer. So Paulo Costa. If you guys got more insight on that, by all means. Let's see. We've got more questions here. Still waiting Mackenzie Dern. I'll do a rain dance soon, guys. Alex wants to know, does O'Malley actually fight Merab if he gets the win Saturday? I'm guessing if he gets the if Merab gets the win Saturday. I would hope so. I'm going to say yes. I'm optimistic. Casey, I don't know if you can have a second to chime in on this question.
No, I don't have a second right now.
Okay. I'm going to stick with my answer. I think O'Malley will fight Merab. Not to say that he doesn't have options and there's plenty of ways to get around it. Like, I still think there's a chance he just makes a move up to featherweight, not permanent, but just to fight either Ilia or Volk. There's just a lot of heat there. There's just not a lot of incentive for him to fight Merab. And I'm not saying he's like ducking it, but if he has any say in who he fights, Merab's not a huge draw. Though O'Malley should see himself as the draw, and it shouldn't matter. So I think it's going to happen. But again, I am the optimist here. Prince of Mischief 2225 wants to know prediction on which fight ends the quickest. You got a lot of candidates here. The one that jumps out right away, Zhang Mingyang and Brendson Ribeiro. Neither guy, I think, has ever won by decision. They both lost by decision once, if I'm remembering correctly. But yes, they finished all. Ribeiro 15 wins, 9 KOs, 6 subs. Zhang 16 wins, 10 KOs, 6 subs. It is a light heavyweight bout, so I don't know if you can expect to necessarily go guns blazing and someone floors the other guy in 30 seconds. But that's a pretty good bet. Anything on the main card, which maybe Kopylov. No, even Kopylov Hernandez, I don't think ends that quickly. Lima Tafa would have been an easy pick. Unfortunately, that fight is canceled, as we are hearing, officially due to a Tafa injury. Though we are still trying to get more information on that. We should say that's just what was announced. Other than that, Rinya Nakamura, again, massive favorite over Carlos Vera. If he just comes out crazy and just decides like, hey, I am the massive favorite and I am just going to run through Carlos Vera, that could be over in 25 seconds. But again, that's also how people get upset. So maybe he won't employ that strategy. I'll stick with Zhang and Ribeiro, but Lima and Tafa would have been the easy pick. I think either Lima would have taken Tafa down, maybe submitted him real quick, or Tafa just smokes him in like 15 seconds. So a shame we lost that one, guys. A shame we lost that one. Just looking over more of your comments here. Red Vein Borneo. Everyone works 8 hours a day. I don't feel bad for the announcers. Give them hell, Red Vein. You're right. Give them hell. What else we got?
Wait. Do they think they just show up like at 2:30 and boom, they start working? And
yeah, they clock in, and then as soon as the main event is over, you're gone. You punch out, Casey. You're done.
That's how it works. Yeah. This is just like a normal job working. Working retail workout.
Yeah, and you're allowed to take breaks during it too. Like this fight. I don't really care about this fight. You're allowed to you get a lunch break. It's pretty great. I've heard. We have Esther Lynn in the comments.
Oh, delete.
Have you heard of Esther Lynn? Flag. Esther Lynn saying commentators. She is saying commentators are usually, all caps, contractors and paid a day or show. Again, she's saying usually. She's not saying everyone. Again, it could be different with the UFC, but that is some insight from, I think, someone who has been around the business for a long time. Again, I've heard of this Esther Lynn person. Casey, I don't know if you're a fan of hers or not, but hi, Casey. She's a fan of you. She's a fan of you. So
overrated.
Wow. I heard your photography is pretty good. No comment. Okay. If you have nothing nice to say, Casey, don't say anything at all.
And I ain't saying nothing.
Wait, we have super chats?
Oh, we got a super chat.
Do we? Oh, I didn't know we had super chat. People, if you want your comments in, get your Michael Raj Paul. What is up? I'm getting it. I've seen it in CND. Taking it out of your CND, your Canadian paycheck. Thank you, Michael. Suarez was next up anyways. Lemos was unnecessary. Oh, saying the Tatiana Suarez Amanda Lemos matchup was I guess didn't really need to be made. I kind of agree with that. You definitely could have thrown Suarez into a title fight. But I didn't mind her fighting Lemos, especially since we know that Zhang now is fighting Yan Xiaonan, so it would have to be a bit of a wait. The timing was supposed to work out that if Tatiana beat Amanda, she would obviously fight the winner of that fight. Now, I don't know. Maybe she falls backwards into it. I don't know. Or maybe Mackenzie Dern shocks the world and gets a shot. I don't think fans would be too happy with that. What else we got? People, if you got more super chat money, we're always excited for it. I see a lot of comments, not a lot of questions, guys. And okay, I see a lot of comments, a lot of questions. Casey, maybe now would be a good time for a little rain dance. Why don't I do a little rain dance? If I could get some music, some graphic reading music. Sorry, guys, I moved my computer here. Center myself. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, everyone. At the top of the card, Alexander Volkanovski, Ilia Topuria, the gentleman around which this card was built, as John Anik likes to say, both came in 144.5, just under championship weight, making it real easy. In the co-main event, Robert Whittaker and Paulo Costa also weighed the same, 185.5 each for them. Their middleweight bout is official. And Geoff Neal, 170.5, for his fight with Ian Machado Garry, who also came in 170.5. We got a grudge match there. Merab Dvalishvili, 135 for his fight with former 2-division champion Henry Cejudo, who came in at 135. Everything on the line for Cejudo here, according to the man himself, who, he's not just here to participate. He wants to fight for the title again. If he beats Merab, you can bet your ass he's getting that O'Malley fight, or even Chito Vera maybe. But they will be happy to put Cejudo in another title fight. Very close fight with Aljamain Sterling. And to open the main card, Anthony Hernandez, 185.5 for against Roman Kopylov, 185. That's a middleweight bout. Amanda Lemos, 115.5 for her fight with Mackenzie Dern, the lone fighter yet to step to the scale at the official weigh-ins. As you can see, we had a heavyweight fight between Marcos Rogerio de Lima and Justin Tafa on the schedule, but it was canceled. The announcement was made shortly before the weigh-ins began. That fight will not be happening. We are hearing it is a Tafa injury, but I'm also we're still looking into that. It could be another issue, but the official word right now from the UFC is injury. Rinya Nakamura, Carlos Vera, both 135.5. Zhang Mingyang, 204.5 for his fight with Brendson. Ribeiro, 205.5. Take the under. Josh Quinlan, 169 for his fight with the debuting Danny Barlow at 171. He's debuting. Yes, undefeated Danny Barlow. Val Woodburn, 169.5 for his fight with Oban Elliott, 170.5, and Andrea Lee, 125.5 for her fight with Miranda Maverick, 126. The piano is still going. Anyway, so we're waiting for Mackenzie Dern. Let the piano. Oh, geez.
I like the piano. Why
okay. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Yes, we got some lovely piano music here as we wait for Mackenzie. Maybe look at Mackenzie Dern to come out. Again, I do want to iterate that Mackenzie Dern has not missed weight in a long time. I know that's almost damning someone with faint praise, but the weigh-in issues that were such a prevalent storyline early on in her career, as far as we know, again, have not come up in the UFC recently. So let us not assume anything. Again, she did take this fight on short notice. I'm sure it's not an easy cut getting down to 115 or 116, which is all she needs to make. So let's give Mackenzie Dern some credit here and just assume she's taking the extra time she needs. Sitting in the sauna or the ice bath or salt bath, weight cutting stuff.
You could be a salt bath and a sauna and under the little foil blankets. Yeah. Something
unhealthy for your body is probably being done with Mackenzie Dern right now, so she can make weight for this fight. Questions. Oh, you know what? This is a good question. We should probably just talk about this, shouldn't we? Hunter wants to know: do you think Volk will actually lose his belt? Yeah, that's right. We usually give some predictions on this show, don't we?
Is it because he's old and old people misplace things?
This does not say in the fight. This is true. Will he at some point lose the belt during the weekend? Quite possibly. Especially that he's forgotten his spectacles.
I was talking to Volk earlier, and I told him about air tags. And if you tape an air tag to your belt, and if you lose your belt, you can go to your phone and go find my UFC featherweight championship belt, and that's one way you could do it. So we're trying to find solutions here.
That's very helpful for everyone out there, especially poor Volk. He turned the ripe old age of 35 not too long ago, which essentially, as we're being told by a lot of people, is just the end of someone's career. Lord knows I'm over the hill. So, do we think he'll actually lose his belt? I'm, just finalizing my predictions now. I think earlier in the week in a sort of roundtable, I did say I thought the time was now for Topuria, but kind of breaking it down a little, and again, listening to good analysis from other folks, I'm leaning towards the champ. I think he's gonna retain, and says nothing bad about Ilia. There's just an experience gap there. I think stylistically, Volkanovski is actually really tough for him. Even though Ilia is certainly versatile, feels like someone who matches up well with anybody, and he's fine. He matches up fine with Volkanovski. I don't think Topuria's going to look bad. I think we're getting a great 5-round fight. It'll end up, I think, either 49-46 Volk or 48-47 Volk, with a couple of rounds probably being memorable and competitive. That's I'd be surprised if either guy finishes anyone. Brand Dunk saying, put an Apple AirTag on every belt. Hey, it's the only way to make sure, right? So I love this match. I'm so excited for this fight. I'm leaning towards the champ. Maybe it's time for him to pass the torch. Maybe it's time. I just can't put that much weight in the losses to Islam. The first fight was highly competitive. He goes back down, just dominates Yair Rodriguez, and then gets head kicked in the second fight with Islam. But guess what? Islam might be the best fighter on the planet. So 2 losses to Islam in a weight class that's not his own doesn't hurt me too much. I'm not that concerned about his chin. I don't think his chin is shot. I think he's got hit again by a kick right to his head. You get knocked out. It happens. So I'm going Volkanovski decision. Casey, can we get a prediction from you?
I'm going Anu.
Are you just saying that because you're in a room of crazed Ilia Topuria supporter?
And it's not because of the Makhachev knockout. I just think Volk has had one heck of a run, but age is age, and he is not old, but he may not be the best in the freaking world right now. But I love to be wrong, and I would not be shocked if Volkanovski gives me one of those "you must have forgot" performances. So we'll see.
Yeah, these top 4 fights.
I love this matchup because I feel
amazing.
It's because it's a fight that's actually based on just merit, and I feel like we don't get those championship fights all the time in the UFC. Just go, oh, this guy deserves it, earned it, and and it's a true pay-per-view main event, and the top 4 fights are awesome, and and Hernandez and Kopylov should be a fun fight to open the card up.
Yeah.
But
and the top four fights, like no result would surprise me. Like as far as the winner, like Cejudo beating Merab wouldn't surprise me. Merab beating Cejudo wouldn't surprise me. Garry beating Neal wouldn't surprise me. Neal and vice versa, and Whittaker and Costa. All 4 fights for me are kind of toss-ups. I don't know if you feel the same way, Casey. I don't feel a strong way either way, saying like, oh, this guy's gonna smash this guy for sure. Like I think the first top 4 fights are just like perfect matchmaking.
Yeah, I agree. I like the top 4 fights. Do you like the Garry fight? The Neal Garry more than Machado Garry versus Luque? You like this matchup better?
I do like this matchup better only because Neal beat Luque, so I'm just thinking of it as far as what advances Garry further up the rankings. But I mean, I'm not really thinking about the style matchup. I think Luque makes for maybe a more entertaining fight, but I do like it for what I think Neal's just slightly higher ranked. So if they're building up IMG, then that's the right way to go.
Okay.
Casey, Joseph Bosa wants to know what did you think of I didn't know I've heard you talk about it. Volkanovski's old man, his whole old man bit, the commercial, the press conference, everything. How are you feeling the old geezer stuff?
I would love to be 35. That would be great. So take that. No, it was great. It was great. It was probably some of the best um, individual fight promotion I've seen in a good while, and I didn't expect it to come from Volk, and it was very well done, and it's such a refreshing bit of trash talk considering how ugly this sport has gotten, especially at the highest levels um, in the last few months. And I'm not going to name names that we all know. Um, Even some people on this card have been involved in some really ugly trash talk. Um, but luckily, I think this week has been proper. Just like, hey, I want to beat you up. You want to beat me up. You're really good, but I'm better. And I'm going to kick your face in on Saturday. And I think that's what we want to hear. It seemed genuine. It didn't seem forced. And yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's as God intended fighting to be done, guys. And yes, if we can get a little humor in there, then it makes it better. Now, Casey, we should clarify that when we say this is like great fight promotion, this was not done by the UFC. This was done by a sport.
That's why I said
a sports betting.
Yeah.
This is done by.
Yeah, the individual fighter did it with his sponsor.
Yeah, this was a sports betting site in Australia. A professional ad company helped to put this together. Volkanovski's performance in it was awesome. I imagine he contributed some ideas as well. It felt that there's some improv as well in it, so that was great. But yeah, this is what happens when professional ad people, who I'm sure the UFC has, by the way. I'm not dogging the UFC like marketing team, but I have a feeling they don't get the opportunity. If they are there, they don't get the opportunity to do creative things. The UFC is a machine and it runs a certain way. And I think if you're on the team, you're probably just not rocking the boat. You're just getting, you're getting the work done and you're keeping the UFC moving forward. And it's working out pretty well for the UFC. So I don't think anyone's complaining. But it is fun when, yes, we can see, what happens when creative people get their hands on a fighter and get their hands on a concept. And the skit was hilarious. I don't know if it's overstaying its welcome with the press conference stuff, but again, falling asleep was really funny. I thought it was really funny. So, mileage may vary. You guys might be tired of it already.
Dude,
you guys might not like it in the first place.
No, it was awesome. And the fact that he carried it on through the press conference was, and the falling asleep, taking Robbie Lawler's bit. That's Robbie Lawler's bit, guys. But
that's
right,
art imitating life. Imitating life right there.
Yeah. It was a callback too. It was a callback.
Yeah.
He wasn't stealing. It was a callback. So it was freaking great. And the way Costa played it up, and
that was great.
That was legitimately probably one of the best press conferences I've been to since UFC 199, which was in Inglewood, and that was with Bisping and Luke Rockhold and Faber and Dominic Cruz, which is second best UFC press conference since UFC 199. The best press conference ever, though, would be Kimbo Dada, but that's for another day.
Baby nuts, Saria.
If you want to see a great press conference, watch the Chael Sonnen Tito Ortiz 3-fight press conference for Bellator. Just magical, but this was a very good one.
But yes,
this was a very good one,
guys. When this kind of stuff, MMA and combat sports, frankly, are supposed to be fun. This is what we're talking about. This is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's not to be guys yelling at each other, trying to shout over each other, trying to see who can say the worst, like most heinous things. Sometimes it's just fun, goofy, dumb stuff. This is really what combat sports was very much built on. It's only in more recent years that everyone has said, "Oh, it has to become this like nasty like." Which is not to say there hasn't been trash talk in the past. I mean, look up some Mike Tyson quotes from the past, but generally, it's supposed to be fun, guys. We're having a good time here. We're throwing two people in a cage or in a ring to beat the crap out of each other. We're all having a good time. I don't see why it needs to. I don't know why it needs to go on any weird paths. We got a super chat, Casey, from Kenny. Kenny says, "Thanks, Casey, for this message for you for picking New York Rick as the winner of Between the Links. Well done."
Hey,
good for you.
I felt. I had a feeling that's what the people wanted, and I provide for the people. So, yeah. And Jed sucks, too. It wasn't that hard a decision.
Okay, yes. I mean, that's not...
Yeah,
that's my boy.
Yeah.
People want to know Do we? They're asking in various different ways, but essentially, do we think the 300 main event gets announced this weekend? I say yeah. During the 298 broadcast today. Q&A.
I'm still waiting for
No.
the Super Bowl commercial. I'm still waiting. I'm crossing my fingers.
Casey, the Super Bowl ended 6 days ago. I don't know if you are.
Well, maybe next year's Super Bowl. Maybe next year's Super Bowl. I'm waiting.
Save it.
Yeah.
Next
year's Super Bowl, Dana White will announce the UFC 300 main event. It's gonna be great.
Listen,
guaranteed.
It will get announced this weekend. I don't think it'll be the Q&A today. I think you do it during the 298 broadcast, I guess, but that's like not maximum exposure. Maybe during the ESPN portion, like the prelims. But that's weird.
Maybe right before Lemos and Dern kind of come out. Maybe
that'd be interesting.
That would literally be the kind of the highest, the most people watching right then. Because the main event ESPN will get more. Will actually get literally more eyes than the pay-per-view live, at least.
And by the way, someone framed the question as tickets are going up for sale next week, so surely they must announce the main event. No, they don't. Those tickets are going to sell out anyway. It doesn't need a main event, people. Those tickets. The UFC product is white hot. It is such a hot product.
Hey, look at this. Look at this noob, Esterlin. 6 minutes.
Jeez Louise.
Esterlin. We have an
I
hour
thought you
and
banned,
6 minutes. An hour.
I thought you banned them. I thought you banned them.
This is one of her troll accounts, I guess.
Jeez.
Can you put her in timeout? No, we have till 11. We have till 11. Esterlin. That's your real name.
We gotta update this firewall. They're in California. They're in your hood. How does this person not know this?
Embarrassing.
Oh my god. All right. People are saying, is it true the bout order was changed in Neal versus Garry? We'll open the main card, guys. I've heard nothing about this. I don't know where you're hearing this. I don't think that's a thing. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've not heard about it. But Joseph Boza did inform us that Quinlan and Barlow, and I see it on ESPN now, Quinlan and Barlow will open the prelims now with the cancellation of the Lima and Justin Tafa. So now only 2 early prelims, guys, but there will still be a 4-fight card. I assume, again, I don't see the schedule change. I assume this means early prelims start at 7, but it's possible they just start the broadcast at 6:30 and then you wait 15 minutes for the first fight. Got to get those advertisement dollars. Guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's 10. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. in West Coast time.
Yeah.
I see some asking. I just want to answer this one real quick. Are you guys going to watch Dune 2? Yeah, I'm probably going opening day. I don't know, Casey. Your thoughts on Dune?
Oh, talking Dune. Okay, hold on. Let me move this clock. That's all nice.
Loved the first one. First one.
Wait, does that look okay? That's all right. I gotta keep it there for now. No.
Oh, are you putting the timer up for certain people in the comments who have no concept of time and
no concept? And this certain
not
person
naming names.
Yeah, this certain person I'm going to go watch. I'm going. We already got tickets to go see Dune 2. So we got tickets. This is the first pre-sale tickets I bought for a movie. Like I bought them like a month out so I can go see it. I'm going to go to the Alamo Draft House downtown. Nice recliner, seats up, order a pizza, and watch Dune Part 2. I didn't know. When I saw the original Dune, I didn't know the first Dune was 2 parts. I was shocked. I was like, what? I was like I was there for like 2 hours. Like, man, they're gonna wrap this up real quick, I guess. And then they said, oh, okay, Part 2, or Part 1.
Did you ever watch the David Lynch one?
It is very bad,
but it is oddly like mesmerizing. I've watched it twice. And there's also a fan edit out there I recommend people check out, which I'm kind of working my way through, and it's interesting. It's like they make some interesting changes.
It's a bad movie, but I am watching, because I never watched it actually. I'm watching all of Twin Peaks right now.
Way to go! I still have to do that.
I'm almost halfway through season 2 right now. And man, the tonal shift between season 1 and season 2 is incredible. I freaking love it. So I'm watching. I'm watching Twin Peaks right now.
People forget that show was a massive, not a massive ratings. I shouldn't say that. It was a ratings hit for NBC. I'm trying to think what channel it was on.
I'm
NBC.
not
It was like a
sure.
major network show back in the day. And then yes, after the first season, it was such a hit they could pretty much do whatever they wanted. And
And the
apparently
first
went down
season,
an
the
even
first season,
weirder, darker path.
yeah, the first season's only 8 episodes, and then the
Mm.
second season, I thought it was like maybe 10 episodes, and so I'm like halfway through it, and I look at it, it's like 22 episodes. The second season is 22 episodes.
That's how it used to be back then, though. Is like that you could if you would do again 8 to 13 episode first season. If it was a hit, you would get 22 episodes, which sounds crazy now when you look at
Yeah.
like a streaming show with like 8 to 10 at best. A 10 episode streaming show now is considered long. Back then, they used to order 22 episodes, and you had to wait 22 weeks to finish the show.
Oh, I know, I can't imagine. And you had
Yeah.
to show up at a certain time to watch it.
Crazy.
Can
And
you
if that
believe that?
VCR or try to tape it, and that VCR wasn't working, sorry, you're just missing that week's episode. There's no going back and streaming the episode. You got to call your neighbors. Did you tape Twin Peaks? Did you tape it? Yeah. And then oh damn it, I accidentally taped over it with this Thanksgiving parade thing. Anyway, it's a whole thing. People have no idea what I'm talking about. Kate, is the Justin Tafa fight canceled? Yeah, I don't know. Are people not watching this on YouTube? I think people can watch it on other things, but I did pin to the top of our chat that it is. I think people can watch this in other ways, so I'm not going to criticize people for missing it. They might just not see it. Anyway, because I think you can watch on Twitter, right? They could be watching on Twitter right now. I'm not crazy, right, Casey? Technology, they can watch in other ways. So yes, the fight was canceled. Justin Tafa injury, from what we've heard. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also what was announced. It was announced an injury. Casey, you mentioned UFC 109, how much you loved it. I want to go to a question from.
No, quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
Now that the one heavyweight fight is off the card, and we know fans love heavyweights, will they cancel the pay-per-view?
I'm sure they thought about it. I'm sure there was a discussion. Thankfully, again, like we said, we found out about this. We did not find out about this abruptly. This is apparently news they knew this morning because they told us before the weigh-ins even started. So, yes, if it was on the spot, I mean, John Anik might have just said, he might have stood on top of the scale and just waved his arms and been like, it's over. No, forget it.
Everyone go home. Go home.
Volkanovski's waiting to weigh in. He would have said, Volk, thank you for showing up. Here's your we'll get you partial show money. Have a fun trip back to Australia.
Here's your free Venom backpack and some rock slippers. Backpack. And then
Godspeed, old man. Godspeed. Casey, screw you. That's the name of the person.
Hey,
I'm not saying that to you. Screw you wants to know.
AK.
Because I'm sorry. No, this is the user's name is screw you. You were talking about 199, how much you loved it. What other great ones from the last 10 years come to mind? What other great press conferences come to mind, sir?
Ooh,
you would know. I don't go to any of these. So
UFC 199 is my favorite because, in particular, that was the line where Luke Rockhold did the whole, I don't know, what was it? Succeed, achieve, believe, and then Bisping just ran with it. And then...
Were you there? Was that in California?
That was in California. That was in Inglewood. And
wait. That's right. Something else happened at that event. I forgot. That's right.
Something else happened. Yeah,
that was the whole thing.
And my personal favorite insult I've ever heard at a press conference is Dominic Cruz saying something to Uriah Faber and then saying, "Yeah, whatever, you and your close eyes."
There's no response to that. Like, how do you even?
There's none. And everyone was just like,
That's right up there with the Mike Perry. You're the booger man now. It's like there's just no comeback.
Like, all right, you got me.
I'm the booger man now.
Bellator, Tito Chell. We have them all MMA fighting. Cheeto versus Chell. That was amazing. Kimbo Dada, an amazing press conference. Oh, some other really good press conferences. I got to go. I guess some of the classics. Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, the original one that was in a UFC gym. That was like.
What about Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather in Toronto?
Okay, I take it back. That was the pinnacle as far as like hype and excitement. What that doesn't
because
even count.
We met and we met.
That was the day we met.
I think we met before at another event, but not really talked. I think that was the first time you actually had to talk to me because I wasn't quite with MMA fighting. I was on the way to being part of the team. I think you
Yeah,
had to talk. I think Ariel grabbed you by the arm and said, "Hey, you got to meet this guy." And you were like, you looked at me and you were like, I think your eyes rolled to the back. You're like,
I
and I
did.
think you audibly went like, "Ugh."
Yeah. Oh, I remember exactly because I started like almost like that kind of feeling where you want to vomit, but you don't want to just
You
just
looked
kind of.
ill. Yeah, you looked.
Yep.
You had no.
Yeah.
You had no interest in
Yeah.
talking. You're like, who's this? Who's
Yeah.
this noob? And I was like, oh my god. I heard you were nice. People told me you were so nice, and I was like, well, don't meet your heroes. I learned
No,
that day.
no, those are all
Don't meet
lies.
your heroes.
Every single one's a lie. I,
Omar
I
M saying, hey,
yeah.
Casey, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll read this after.
Sorry,
Oh,
I was just
so
I was just thinking about our first meeting.
you're remembering,
Sorry.
yeah, the first time you actually had to talk to me. Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Terrible. Omar M. Hey, AK, I went to go see Past Lives after your recommendation. Probably one of the best films of the year so far. Has to get an Oscar. Omar, it did. The Oscar nominations are out. My Markham District High School peer, Celine Song, nominated for Best Screenplay. She produced the movie, so she's nominated for Best Picture. Did not get the director nod, I don't think, unfortunately. But hey, she's going to have plenty of chances in the future. I think she's already lined up another project with like Chris Evans. She's directing Captain America in her next movie. She'll be doing The Eternals 2 by like 2027. Trust me, Celine Song is going up, onwards and upwards. So yeah, so if you haven't seen Past Lives, excellent film. Casey, I know you enjoyed it.
It's a great film. It's
Great
awesome.
movie.
And dude, the waterworks. I was like, ugh. Did you get the feels in that movie? Did you get the feels?
I
have.
was angry throughout the whole thing because Celine is so talented. And again, we were, I think, either the same year or 1 year apart. And to think that I went to high school with someone that gifted and that brilliant, and I'm just me, I had to have a real moment, Casey, but I'm over it now. And I'm just nothing but proud of her. And very excited to say that I knew her and that I've hung out with her. She's gonna be, again, she is going to be one of the names in Hollywood for the next like 20 years, longer. I don't know, some 20 years for the next, as long as she decides to keep directing.
Yeah.
She's
Who was
an
the main?
amazing.
What was the main actress's name? Greta Lee.
Greta Lee, yeah, fantastic.
Greta.
I wish she'd gotten nominated. Should have gotten. I don't think she got nominated. She
No,
should
she
have.
didn't. She didn't.
Yeah,
She was
very good.
awesome.
Very good.
Yeah. So go watch Past Lives. Go watch Past Lives.
Go watch Past Lives. It's a great movie. Mocracy is asking us, did you see that Bigfoot Silva unretired and is fighting MMA March 23rd? Yeah, we saw it. I don't have anything to say about that.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say about that. Please. It's such a horrible thing to say, like, oh, I hope this fight gets canceled, because maybe he needs the money, or he loves fighting. But this whole Bigfoot Silva thing, I mean, for the last few years, just feels so wrong. I'm clutching my pearls tightly, Casey. I don't know how you feel about it. I'm clutching my pearls so hard.
All right.
No thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, the less said, the better.
I got other things going on. Sorry. Bigfoot Silva.
Okay. Oh, that's
Hey.
okay. Yeah.
Hey.
And, yeah.
Who would win in a rematch tomorrow? Bigfoot Silva versus Fedor.
Why do you put this out there?
Isn't that like a
Why do you
horrible
do that?
fight? I kind of want to see.
Oh, I would take Fedor.
Yeah, we take Fedor. Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's got to get it back. Yeah. I wonder who the best fighters over 50. I know he's not 50 yet, but like if you had like a 50 and over fight league, which I'm totally down for when I get to that age. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious. Who would be the best fighters over 50? Something to think about.
People, throw out your guesses. I would love to hear suggestions. I don't even want to think about this, but throw out your suggestions. Randy Couture has got to be. Oh, he has to be over 50, right? I mean, he got in so late.
Yeah.
Randy Couture is 60. Do you know that? Sorry, guys. Casey's got. Randy Couture is 60 years.
Sorry, I had to apologize.
No worries. No. It did not.
Kenny from MMA Junkie is blowing kisses at me for some reason. He just keeps blowing kisses, and it's very distracting.
Valentine's Day. Did you watch Napoleon and or Oppenheimer? I did not watch Napoleon yet. I do want to because I love Joaquin Phoenix, even though I don't think it looks great, but I still want to watch it. And Oppenheimer, yeah, of course I saw. Very good movie.
I
Casey,
liked Oppenheimer. I liked
Mhm.
Oppenheimer. I'm not like it was my favorite film ever or my favorite Christopher Nolan film ever, but I enjoyed it for sure. And I'm glad I saw it in the IMAX. I'm glad I got to see it gigantic and loud and just like
Yeah,
if you
had
do
to.
see it, if you're gonna see it, like if you don't have like a giant TV, just scoot your couch up and just get as close to the TV as possible.
That's terrible advice. You can't tell people that's not good for your eyeballs, Casey.
Don't worry about your eyeballs. You have two of them.
Oh, you want to
Just
be just like the guys who were there at the Manhattan Project like test thing, where like their eyes are literally like going to melt from their skulls if they look too closely.
spoiler.
Godzilla! People are saying Godzilla -1. I need to see it so badly, and I hope I
Dude,
didn't miss the chance to see it in theaters. I might have.
I missed the chance to see it in theaters, but I will see it. I want to see that movie very badly too. I've heard only wonderful things about it.
I'm very disappointed in myself. I blame my friends and whoever for not like being able to come out and watch it because I'm kind of corn. I don't know. Let's have a question for the chat. What are your thoughts on seeing a movie by yourself? I know there's nothing wrong with it, by the way. I'm not judging anyone. I just can't do it. I've never gone to a movie by myself. I can't do it. There's nothing wrong with it. Let me say that again. I can't do it. Casey, have you gone to movies by yourself before?
I watch movies at home by myself. I haven't gone to a movie
Oh yeah, of
theater.
course, of course. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I watch. Yeah, but
that's what I mean.
we
That's
talk.
what I mean. Sorry,
We're talking
theater.
about going to the theater, right? Yeah, I haven't done that. No, I think the
And there's
theater it's kind of an experience because you want to see it with people. You like when the movie ends, you want to turn to your friend or your date and go like, "Whoa, that was cool," or like, "That sucked." So I like that experience. So that's why I don't like seeing movies alone in the movie theater.
The weird thing is, first let me say we had a suggestion from a Trin Daddy, Frank Shamrock, 51 years old, got to be up there. Yeah, I bet Frank could still do some damage for sure. For sure, that's a good pick. Um, the weird thing is, I don't even talk that much during a movie. Like, I actually am focused on the movie, and I kind of want the person I'm with to shut the hell up, and yet I still want them to be there. So I don't know. I'm twisted. I'm a twisted human being.
All right, me too.
Grace Yaquez, where is Dern? Your guess is as good as mine. We are waiting on Dern. Listen, she's taking her time to cut. She was here. This is a short notice, a little over a month.
But a reminder: if she doesn't, she has to make weight, or her final weigh-in is at 11 o'clock, which is
Oh yes,
49 minutes from now. She doesn't have an extra 2 hours after that. This
yeah,
is she's already in the overage time or whatever you want to call it right now.
yes, correct. Yes. They did a California Commission did a great breakdown for you guys, for Casey and everyone on site before they read it, made things very clear, which doesn't always happen in Las Vegas, as far as I know. Maybe they just have so many shows there, they assume everyone knows the rules. But California did make it very clear, guys. There is no additional time after the weigh-in window. It's the 2 hour window, and in that window, you can weigh in more than once. So if Mackenzie Dern showed up now, let's say, and was half a pound over, she would have, if you guys are looking at the clock, she would have 48 minutes to weigh in again. She does not necessarily just get a full hour. So she can't show up at 10:50 local time there with 10 minutes to go and weigh in and miss and then get an additional hour. That's not a thing. You can weigh in more than once, but it's all in the window. So we will see if that happens when Mackenzie Dern has not come up with everyone else. Everyone else has just made weight. But yes, there is, as Casey was saying, there is no additional hour. It's all or additional time past the 2 hour window. It has to happen in the window. Fingers crossed again, for Mackenzie Dern, who I think will be fine. Try going to a movie by yourself. Saturday has programmed you that it should be awkward or something, but it's not. It's fun, and you won't have your friend talking in your ear. Give it a shot. It's true. Pro Fights Info. You are totally correct. It is strictly a societal thing where I just don't feel comfortable doing it. I have no objective reason. Casey made a good point. I guess if you want to talk during the movie, but I don't even talk during movies when I'm in the theater,
See,
so that doesn't even matter.
I'm the friend going like, "Hey, who's that guy? Wait, who's that guy?
Why did
Wait,
he shoot that guy? Why did he shoot that guy?
oh,
What? When I was asking you, what did he say when I was asking you who's that guy?
yeah." Or I have to go. I run to the restroom. I'm like, "What I miss?
Yeah, but you should just be asking random strangers if you go by yourself, though. Just turn to someone behind you, like, "Whoa, yo, what was that? What happened? What was that?" Stand up, and talk to the person behind you. What? Oh, did you see that? That was crazy.
right.
Casey, what did you guys do for? Let me read this first. To Carol Man 91. No, I'll read your question. Read the question. To Carol Man 91. Do we know who Cejudo brought into his team before adding Albarracin back on his team? So I don't know if everyone's been keeping up with the Albarracin situation. Casey, have you been keeping up with this nonsense?
I try not to.
Well, what do you know about the situation then?
He fired his longtime wrestling coach on camera for the UFC the countdown show or embedded. What was it for?
Countdown.
So one,
Correct.
what? Yeah, and which is a very produced show. So I'm not.
Yes.
So I just thought everything was, and then he got weird feedback, and so we rehired him or something. I don't know. I see him around. I see.
Okay.
I don't know.
So the story from both.
I gave up.
The story from
like
as you should. It's a stupid story, and I regret reporting it the first time. I regret following up on it with the Eric Alvarezine interview on the MMA Hour. But from what we know from Cejudo's media day and from Coach Eric's appearance on the MMA Hour, yes, it was kind of oversold. Like it wasn't a straight up firing. So there was a reality to it because Coach Eric has his own interests right now over in Brazil, and he has to prepare Paulo Costa for this fight and Patricio Pitbull for his fight next week. So he kind of has his attention divided. Cejudo also wanted to make a change in his camp after the Sterling fight. According to Cejudo, they had according to Coach Eric, they had some disagreement over the weight cut ahead of the Sterling fight and the way it was done. They ended up doing Coach Eric's way, and Cejudo felt like it may have affected him on fight night. He didn't blame him, but just saying, we wanted to do something different. We needed a break from each other. I believe they've worked together for over 20 years before Cejudo was even in MMA. So there was an actual split, but I think they made it seem more dramatic on Countdown, like he was firing him, which wasn't really the case. And then when they reunited in Vegas, it was simply a matter of, well, Coach Eric is here for Costa anyway. He is also, I think, he said he is going to be in Cejudo's corner, and Cejudo said he will be there. I'm not sure how that works, but it does sound like Coach Eric will be doing double duty on Saturday night. So, yes, it was a prank the way they played it, but he was actually not in Cejudo's camp. He said for the 9 weeks when that incident happened. That incident happened 9 weeks ago, and there was no. And according to Coach Eric, there was no communication between them. Not in a bad way. Just they were just doing their own thing. So, it was a prank, but it wasn't. Casey, does that a satisfying answer? Did that make you more interested in this story?
Oh, absolutely not. It made me very annoyed, and it brought the same feelings when I first met you.
We don't need to keep bringing that up. But yeah, it's such a stupid, whatever the reasoning behind the quote unquote prank, whatever you guys want to call it now, so stupid. Other than we're talking about it, can we just say that while people are talking about it, is not a cure-all excuse for any dumbass behavior. Can we be clear with this? That is not justified. This may have been true once upon a time. All press is good press. That is not true. That is just not true. Okay. I don't know what the purpose of this was, other than to get people talking about Henry Cejudo. But people were already talking about Henry Cejudo. He's fighting Merab Dvalishvili. It's a huge fight. What did this add? It's dumb. It's dumb, people. Stop it. Stop doing this stuff. It's not funny. Same with, we didn't talk about this enough, Casey, Oban Elliott. I don't know if, I assume this was not true now. They said Oban, his manager, Richard Shore, tweeted that they did not know the right weight for the fight with Val Woodburn. And they actually had to cut down from 190 pounds because they thought it was a middleweight fight. The fact that Oban showed up pretty early and looked okay on the scale, I guess didn't look amazing, but looked like normal weight cut drained on the scale, tells me that was a joke. And I hate that I even...
See,
I hate that I even need to look into this.
The problem there is jokes are supposed to be funny.
Correct.
Yeah.
Let me check the social media account now, guys. You know what? While I'm updating you guys on stupid stories, let's see what Richard Shore, Oban Elliott's manager. Let's see his follow up here, if he's followed up at all. Well, he's just saying we did it. So Oh no, hold on. Jack Shore is saying it got him. So I guess saying it's a joke.
Got him.
Got him. Ha ha. Richard Shore saying we did it. So I don't know. You know what? Richard Shore is not saying it's a joke. He just retweeted Jack Shore. I'm nearly certain it was a joke, but okay. If I won't. If I'm wrong about this, guys, then I will retract my statement. But it seems very unlikely to me that he cut that they did not. They said they did not know the contracted weight until they got to Vegas, and that or until this morning. Excuse me. And
So
then Oban Elliott was 198 pounds this morning, and supposedly cut 28 pounds in whatever few hours. No.
just to prove I watch other sports, is this equivalent to going to overtime and not knowing the rules in the Super Bowl?
It is. No, that's much worse, and actually somewhat explainable. This seems very. Oh God, we have a question that I have to answer. But this seems very just so unlikely that you would sign a fight contract and you wouldn't know the weight.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were about to go on an open scoring rant. By the way, I have to answer this question. Joe D, I'll get to this question in a second. By the way, Casey, I don't know if you saw David Zawada at an Octagon MMA show this past weekend. I wrote about it in Misfits today. He won by third round heel hook out of nowhere. Really cool submission, just kind of really wild grappling, just gets his heel hook. It's awesome. He was in the third round of a fight that he was losing. Octagon MMA uses open scoring. And people are saying that David Zawada knew he was down 2-0 on the scorecards and went for it on the he knew he was down 2018 on the scorecards going to the third, and they're saying he went for it. Maybe he was motivated by knowing the score. Now, people know I am not an advocate for open scoring. I'm not against it. I'm just not totally for it. But if you are an advocate for open scoring, that incident was kind of a nice little feather in the cap. I don't know. I do think he was motivated, that he knew.
My whole thing about open scoring, real quick, it has nothing to do with judging. It is not fixed judging at all. It is simply just knowing the score. That is it. There's nothing about judging. Because I didn't see that fight,
that's for sure. Yeah.
And that's like the big thing. It's like, because people keep kind of going, well, how's this fixed judging? It doesn't fix judging. You just know the score. That's all.
And anyone who says that, anyone who says it fixes judging is making a separate argument unrelated to what other people. There's other people who are advocating for open scoring, like yourself, Casey, who are not saying that. They're not saying it, and nothing to do with judging. And that is, I think we all agree on. But there are points for it. So David Zawada, congrats. Joe D. Really, this is a question for you, Casey. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, but
I'll get to this because this is going to take like half an hour or so.
Yeah, the fight you were talking about. See, and I didn't see the first two rounds, so I don't know if they were clear. Like anyone who's never watched the fight knew that guy lost the rounds, or they actually had a close rounds where it could have gone either way. And that's where an open scoring comes into it plays a relevant factor. Because I would say, let's just call it 95% of fights. Anyone can score 95% of fights. It's pretty obvious. That guy got beat up. Okay, he loses the round. But those 5% where you don't know, that's where open scoring matters, and that's where it matters in the third round. Because especially going for heel hooks, things like that. I mean, I'm assuming. I'm just gonna make a bunch of assumptions here. By going for a heel hook, you know you're gonna lose position. You're leaving yourself open for strikes, which is a lot of heel hooks do. You get ground and pounded. But he knew the reward was so high, and he was already down. So I don't know, but kind of an open scoring thing. Yeah. A little bit of rant, but I am a big fan of open scoring. But it is not about entertainment. It's not about making it more pleasurable for the audience or the fans. It's simply for the fighters in the cage.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to argue against. Is if the fighters want to know, they should know. That's like a pretty strong sentiment, I think, is if the fighters want to know, they should know. And I don't have an argument against that. So again, it's just a personal thing for me. But yeah, listen, I've seen promotions use it. Invicta does it. I have had no beef with it at all. Like if they do it, they do it. I just there's other arguments.
I know very very smart people like Kaposa. Everyone knows Kaposa. He is against open scoring.
He's against it. Yeah.
Because he says it is not good for the fight or the entertainment of the fight.
Right.
Which
it can have a negative effect theoretically. Yeah.
which I'm like, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to me. So we're kind of arguing different things. You know, he's
Exactly.
basing rules based on, is it going to be more entertaining? I don't care about that. So that's why I think that's what. Yeah. Oh, super chat.
Let me get to this very important
Okay,
question
go.
from Joe D. Real quick. AK, when did the Fast and Furious franchise lose itself? Okay, well, depending who you ask, people are gonna kill me because they love this movie. People call this a top 3 Fast and Furious film. It's not my favorite, though. It has some of the amazing moments in it. Okay, so Fast and Furious 7. This is the one where Paul Walker had died during the filming, and it has some great moments in it. But it's when it goes. And by this point, by the way, by 7, the series had already gone way over the top. You can go back to 5. That's when it becomes an action movie. It's not about. It's very, very, very little about racing anymore. It's just become a somewhat generic action movie, which is a really well done generic action movie. But as far as like plot wise, nothing sets it apart from other action films. It's just it's a heist film. It's a team film. It's a whole thing. So yes, it gets a little too over the top. Vin Diesel's Messiah complex. Anyone who's seen any Vin Diesel movies knows this guy has a real Messiah complex where his character has to be like this super powerful, unimpeachable figure who is just prepared for any situation. That gets worse with every movie, and it's not fun to watch, frankly. So I would say 7, even though I think that's the highest grossing one. So like people call that like the pinnacle of the series, and I could agree. And I'd also say it's where it started to go downhill from there. If you ask Jed Meshew, my fellow Fasty, he hates Fast Furious 8 so much. That's the one where Vin Diesel turns evil. He hates that movie so much and has not like loved the series since. But I will say I think 7 is where I'm getting an all caps message from New York Rick. The correct answer is never. He says all of them are perfect. Again, this is way too long of a discussion to get into here. I love the Fast Furious franchise. I recommend watching all the movies. I would not go as far as to say it is a perfect.
So in terms of perfect,
but we love it. We love it for its imperfections.
So in terms of perfect films, there's Godfather 2, and then all the Fast and Furious films, and that's pretty much all.
I would say don't get me started. I would say there's no such thing as a perfect film, but that is, again, I am a stickler. I'm a stickler for that sort of thing.
There's perfect films.
There is no. This is where the gymnastics score came from, Casey. There is no film that is a 10.0 on the degree of difficulty that has hit the 10.0. That is what I'm saying. In history, it has never happened. Some films will come close, but they never have. Cody Watson, what is up? Super chat. Topuria, less McGregor, more Alexander Hernandez. Humbling. It's a fax machine, I think. Casey, you're hipping with
letter? It. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Oh, it's a letter. It's an envelope. Oh, he's gonna get served. I'm so old. Cody, if you want to follow up with a non-super chat and explain that, that'd be great.
No. I need super chat explanations.
Anyone? Hold on one second. Anyone saying Tokyo Drift is the worst? I may have to ban you. Tokyo Drift is a top 3 Fast and Furious film. It is so good. You are on crack if you think that movie. It's you. We got to move on. This is just upsetting me. But yes, lot of great Fast and Furious memories being said here. Ja Rule, shout out to Ja Rule.
Hey, give me your best Ja Rule. Give me your best Ja Rule impression.
Do the line from the movie, Monica. There you go. Ja Rule, by the way, was supposed to be in the second Fast and Furious film. For anyone who doesn't know, Too Fast, Too Furious. But he wasn't happy with his salary. I think they only offered him something like $500,000 or something. And Ja Rule was white hot at the time. He said, "Listen, I'm Ja mother effing Rule. Like I should be making $1 million or whatever." So he walked and was replaced by Ludacris. And Ludacris now has starred in whatever 6 or 7 Fast and Furious movies. And
that's the same role.
And made it pretty bad. I think they changed the role. I think it would have been a different character. I think it would have been a different role for Ja Rule. They would have just brought back his character. I think when he left, they just made a new character for Ludacris. But yes, Ludacris probably made tens of millions of dollars now off of the Fast and Furious films, and Ja Rule has not. So people just be, know your worth. Know your worth is what I'm saying. Know your worth. We are close. Goodfellas, OCO. Goodfellas is a perfect film. It's one of the most rewatchable films out there for sure. You can pop in
I
Goodfellas. Yeah,
It is not a perfect film. I rewatched it actually about a couple months ago,
nothing's
and
perfect. Yes,
the sex scenes are so bad in it. They're so bad. Like they're just shot weird.
there you
But
go. Listen, there's no
but
perfect film. I'm telling you, it might
but
be a
it is
9.9 out of 10, but there's no
it is
perfect. I think
it is a
nothing's
very
perfect.
it is a very good film though. Obviously, a very
It's
good film.
amazingly rewatchable. You can watch it from
I
beginning to end. You can come in the middle. You can come in at the end and then rewatch. It is just so many good moments. It's a great, great movie.
I just rewatched Killers of the Flower Moon.
I
I've
still
seen
have
it
to see
twice
it.
now. You
I
have
still
seen
have
it
to see it.
once?
I
Oh,
know, and I've got a screener. I've got so many ways to watch it.
uh,
I think it's still in theaters up here.
you suck. You
I don't
suck.
have friends. I have no friends, and I'm too insecure to go see a movie myself. It's a problem.
It's
It's a
a,
me problem. It's a me
that's
problem.
actually I would actually say that's a good film to watch by yourself.
I can't do
It,
that.
yeah.
I'm too insecure. Someone saying Kung Fu Hustle is a perfect film.
No
What
issues
else
with
we
that.
got here?
I got no issues with that.
Kung
No
Fu.
issues.
What else we got? Shrek 2. Shout out to Shrek 2. Great movie.
Yeah,
Um,
I got issues with that, but
you're more of a Shrek 3 guy. You're more of a Shrek Ever After guy, or Puss in Boots, perhaps. I heard you love Puss in Boots, which
I did
actually
enjoy
was
Puss in
like
Boots. I did
it was
enjoy
like a
Puss. In,
night.
oh,
It's like a 98%. I really want to see it. I'm sad I haven't seen it. It's like a
Pu-
98% on Rotten Tomatoes. People tell me it's amazing.
Puss in Boots was actually pretty pleasant, dude.
I heard it's really good.
You know what might be a perfect film? Because I've seen it. I think I've seen it 4 times now. Paddington 2.
Not Paddington 1.
No, Paddington 2. It's like The Godfather. Godfather. It was just like Paddington 1's good, but the
Controversial.
sequel is boom. Paddington 2 is freaking awesome. Much like Babe. Babe 2, Pig in the City, is actually better than Babe. Hot
Okay.
take.
A very hot take. So perplexed by that, saying Some Like It Hot is a perfect film, very classic comedy. I believe one of the only films to win every Oscar it was nominated for. I think it's like 5 for 5. There's a few others, but I think that was either the first one or one of only like 2 or 3 movies to go perfect in the Oscar nominations. I'm filled with Oscar trivia, guys. OCO, No Country for Old Men, another perfect movie. I watched that movie a million times. It's one of my favorite movies ever. I don't know. Again, I still won't call it perfect. The closest thing for me, guys, to a perfect film is Heat. I think Heat is the closest to nailing it, and I still don't think it's perfect. I still don't think Heat is a perfect movie, and it's my and it's not to even say it's my favorite movie. It's not even my favorite movie. It's up there, but it's a whole. I could go on a whole rant on how that movie almost nails everything it's trying to do. Oh God, I see another head on screen.
What's up, guys?
Oh Lord, he heard us talking about things and he had to jump in.
I'm not gonna lie. I haven't listened to a single thing you guys have said.
Okay, good. That's good. Nothing was said about anything. Nothing was said about you or your personality or
I figure
who you are.
I'm one of the few. I know what Casey's dealing with over there. So if he needs some time to work, I tagged it.
Oh, you missed us recapping the first time Casey and I spoke to each other. It was really a lovely memory.
What a very riveting conversation.
It was. I think it was for all involved.
Wait, real quick,
Jose, do you want to? Yeah.
Wait, real quick. If Mackenzie Dern when she finally weighs, she has 27 minutes to weigh in. Is she gonna be the first fighter to weigh in the Riz Pharma box of shame? Has that actually been broken out yet?
No, because it was.
With
That's
the
a good
logo
question
on
because
there?
it was there last time. I just don't remember if anyone used it. That's actually a really good question. It's not the first time it's been. Yeah, get the camera right on it, Casey. Get the camera right on it.
This might be UFC history. So, just saying.
Jose, okay? You said you have not listened to the broadcast. Are you aware of the status of our weigh-ins up to this point?
Yes, because I've been watching, but I just haven't had the audio on because I've been
good.
working.
What are your thoughts on?
Right.
What are your a lot of people are calling out some great movies. Videodrome, that's a great movie. I love Videodrome. Rush, I still need to see. I've always wanted to see that. I've not watched Rush. Sorry, back to the UFC stuff that's happening right now. Jose, what are your thoughts on Mackenzie Dern? Should we be worried? You've been to a lot of weigh-in shows.
I think I've been to almost all of them in the last 4 years for pay-per-views. That is, I think I've missed like 3 pay-per-views in the last 4 years. Should we be concerned? I mean, anytime it gets below the 30-minute mark, probably.
Fair.
But like, I don't think she'll miss. But concern in terms of health-wise could be a thing.
Yep. Very true. Very true. Jose, Pro Fights Info wants to know: have you ever been to a movie alone, and do you encourage?
I go to the movies alone regularly, like almost exclusively. Like it's strange for me to go with another person, honestly. Like especially in Arizona, like because I don't live in Arizona as of yesterday, but when I did live in Arizona, it's like 120 degrees outside. I would go. Speaking of Arizona, great. Raising Arizona is the best Nicolas Cage movie of all time, honestly. He used all of his acting chops in that. But when you're trying to get out of the heat, you just go to the movie. I would just look at like what's playing. Why not? Let's see this movie.
I got to go inside for a few hours. I need to get out of the sun. Is there also do you and your partner have different like schedules? So your schedules don't line up, or you just don't like?
A lot of times.
You don't like
a lot of times, yes. Like our schedules are so different that I'll go.
Right.
But if there's like specific movies that we know we both want to see, then I'll go. I'll take her, obviously.
Okay. Yeah, that's the same
like,
situation.
I have like a close friend that if we see a superhero movie, we'll go together because his comic book knowledge is like very similar to mine, and we just make fun of it. Like we watch it, that's hilarious. We just make fun of it a lot. Because isn't it now like when you like wave or something, it like makes balloons.
Try it. I don't know.
Yeah, like because sometimes when I'll like do this, like balloons will come up. But yeah, I like to go to movies with people with similar interests because then we can just talk trash about the movie, or like I could say like an insider baseball knowledge, and they would get it.
Yeah, I think a lot of those like big movies, it's definitely fun to go with people just because you want to talk about it. Okay, Cody Watson, super chat. Cody Watson, shout out to Matt Brown / Eric Silva, slept on fight. Yeah, that was a good fight. Do you guys know what Mr. Heck has up his sleeve for us? He's been hyping this project up. He's my best friend, and he's told me nothing.
I know, but I'm not telling you.
Yeah, sorry guys. So, yeah, it's
we know it all.
The element of surprise.
How do I sound, by the way? Very rarely do I get to use wireless microphones because they don't allow wireless microphones on site for UFC stuff. So I get to use my wireless stuff, which is fun.
You're okay. It sounds pretty good, I think.
I'm getting like a little bit of ambient noise from you.
That's probably like the city in front of me.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're good. You're good.
There's a trash truck literally like 4 feet away from me right now.
Omar M says Jose Young goes to movies alone like Robert De Niro and Taxi Driver. Okay.
I like going to the movies. I was going to the movies like once, twice a week for a while. Got to keep that AMC level going.
I should start going. There's so many movies I want to see. I missed Godzilla. I can't. What if I never get the chance to watch it? I know. I totally blew it. It's been a bad time for me going to the movies lately.
Did you watch Iron Claw?
I'm a big fan of double features too.
Ooh, haven't done that in a while, but yes.
Speaking of, I saw Godzilla and Iron Claw, like bang bang. Great time.
That's a good one. That's a good double feature.
The director of Iron Claw, by the way, Sean Durkin, a fine Canadian. Just
Casey, correct me if I'm wrong, Casey, but I remember actually, AK, you're involved in this too. You're from Texas and a wrestling fan, but you didn't know nothing about the Von Erichs, right?
No, it was a little before my time.
That's
and
crazy.
I didn't know anything. I mean, I knew about it.
And like that movie
Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah,
but,
that movie downplayed them so much too, like how much of a celebrity they were. That's
I
crazy.
did meet a friend who she's a few years older than me, and she was a big fan of the Von Erichs. She's not like a pro wrestling fan anymore, but she said growing up though, she loved the Von Erichs and stuff, and had like T-shirts and
Oh yeah,
posters of them in her room. Yeah, so
they're like
yeah.
action figures. They had cereal. They had like cartoons and everything. Like they were megastars in Texas. That's why some of my complaints about the movie were like they just didn't include that. So like when, spoiler alert, like during the first funeral scene, there's like that all those fans that showed up, but they didn't really establish like why would all these fans show up if they're just wrestlers. Like that was because they were a big deal in Texas. Anyway, I digress.
That as I was saying for Sean Durkin, the director, Canadian guy. If you want to see another great movie by Sean Durkin, I recommend Marcy May Marlene, starring Elizabeth Olsen. Wonderful movie about a young girl recovering from being part of a cult, and it is so freaking good. It's very dark. It's very sad. You will not feel good after watching it, but I imagine you probably didn't feel great after watching Iron Claw either. So if you want more of that, Marcy May Marlene, highly recommended. It came out a while ago.
AK, did you watch what was it called? Did you watch Poor Things?
Not yet. I can't find. I mean, I haven't gone to the theater. I would never download an illegal copy. Ha ha ha. No, I really want to.
We got those we got those screeners. You should have a screener.
I didn't get one. I didn't get one.
Do Canadians get them?
Yeah.
Oh,
I got other ones. I didn't get Poor Things. Maybe I deleted it. No, why would I delete it?
Yeah.
Well, now I gotta find out about it. Okay, well I'll look into that. But either way,
Poor Things.
Yeah, I really want to see that. Yorgos Lanthimos is a friggin' genius, and I'm very excited. Mackenzie Dern, Esterlin, that's right, yeah. And they took a big break. He did that movie, which was awesome, and then didn't direct another movie for like 8 years. Pro Fights Info wants to know, Mackenzie Dern was talking this week about wanting to make it into the UFC Hall of Fame. How realistic do you think that is? What does she still need to accomplish to make it? It's very realistic. She just has to win a UFC title, really. Also, like I think that's the path. I don't see her having a like Jim Miller, Donald Cerrone-esque like 25, 30 fight career. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to see what you guys think about it. I think she wins the UFC title. She probably gets in.
Real quick, what fighter doesn't want to be a UFC Hall of Famer? Is there some fighter that says, nah, I don't?
Rampage.
I just think
Rampage must get paid. That's why he must get paid.
Yeah, I just think it's more. Most fighters don't necessarily talk about it. Aren't like actively like campaigning for it. So like in the middle of their careers, like because she's in the middle of it.
She campaigned for it. Like she's making a run. Like
just apparently she said she wants to. She wants. I don't know if she was asked. I assume she was asked some sort of question like what career goals and yeah. But yeah, I know a lot of fighters who have not mentioned the UFC Hall of Fame because I mean really. Again, they're not concerned about that right now. They're concerned about their next paycheck. So, we'll get to this in a second. But yeah, what do you guys think about Mackenzie Dern? I'll get to Joseph's question in a second. What do you think about Mackenzie Dern? Her chance, like she just has to win the UFC title, right? Because they like her. That's the first part. The UFC has to like you. And the second part is
that is the most important part, to be honest.
Yeah.
She just has to, I don't know, do the same thing she's been doing for the next at least 6-7 years, and without being a champion, can she make the Hall of Fame without being a champion? She would have to break.
She'd have to rack up a lot of records, I think.
That's what I think. So
she has. What does she have now? The submission record, right? She already owns the submission record. Strawweight submission record.
She has a strawweight submission record, but she's, I believe, second all time for just women in general.
Yeah, and it's only like Robinson. 3. The record's only like 3 or 4, so it's not like she has some. She would have to extend that record. And again,
I believe the record is like 6 or 7, and she's at 4.
She's at 4, but talking about just strawweight. I'm talking about just strawweight though.
Oh yeah, she has the record with 4. I know that, but I think she's second all time in just all weight classes with 4, and I think Julie Robertson has like 6 or 7.
Yeah, so she gotta get some more finishes. Records are important. Longevity too. Like I said, I think she needs to fight at least like 16, 17, 18 times, and I don't. She's at 12. She's not that far off. She's at 12. I mean, she's had a lot of UFC fights already, so it's possible.
She could get in if she just has a banger of a fight. Like they conduct fights all the time.
Yeah, well,
this is true. Yes,
individual. I'm talking individually.
Right,
yeah,
right.
I mean, random fighters can go in for fights, but
fight wing for sure. Just go get some brain damage, and you can get yourself into the fight wing of the UFC Hall of Fame, no problem.
I think once you get 25 wins without being a champion, I think then you're kind of in the conversation.
You're in the conversation, but definitely not
Yeah.
a lock.
Not a
I
lock,
think
yeah.
you get into the conversation at 15 wins, honestly.
15 think? Okay, well, 15 then.
15 UFC wins is a lot of fights.
Oh,
That's
win? No.
5 years of wins.
Oh, wins. Yeah, I thought you were saying fights. I thought Casey was just saying
like
fights. You
Yeah.
turn on
I
fights.
said wins, but yeah,
15
wins.
wins, I think you're in the 25. I think you're a lock. That's so many UFC wins. Like,
I say,
how many fighters do we have? Yeah.
It was never being champion. How many fighters have been inducted individually without ever being champion? And
I don't even know.
not fighting
I think we're,
championship fight. She may never fight for a championship fight either. I'm just kind of wondering.
Yeah, I think where the UFC Hall of Fame is, where there's just not, we haven't really. There's still a lot of people that haven't gone in that have been champions yet, and I just don't think we're at that point into the who's left that hasn't been inducted yet, outside of like ones that we know won't get in, like Frank Shamrock and stuff.
Yeah, trivia question. What fighter on that's finishes in total across 2 divisions? Jillian Robertson, does she not have the record? Yes, across 2 divisions, she has the record.
Yeah,
she has the record.
Yeah, I was gonna say trivia question. What fight you mentioned 15 wins being a good measuring stick? What fighter in this card has 15 wins, Jose? It's not very hard. 15 UFC wins. Excuse me, 15 UFC wins.
15 UFC wins? I would imagine Whittaker.
Whittaker?
Correct. Yes, he has the most wins on this card. He is a shoe-in for the Hall of Fame, I think, whenever that time comes. So
yeah, I think so.
There you go. UFC champion, 15 wins. It's not a bad bar. It's not a bad bar to set, I think. Again, you can get it with less certainly, but it's a nice place to be.
15,
you got 15 wins in the UFC title.
I think 15 UFC wins is like 400 home runs. Like you start to have the conversation.
Yeah.
Usually outside of steroid allegations, you hit 500 home runs or 3,000 hits, 300 wins, 3,000 Ks. You're most likely a lock. Whether you get first ballot or not is the conversation. But I think if you get 25 wins in the UFC, you should be a lock for the Hall of Fame. That's so many wins.
What was the question from Joseph Bosa before, Casey? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to brush it aside. It was a good question.
About Rose being an executive producer.
Oh, yes. Did we hear about it? Was that the question?
Yeah, you just thought about Rose being the executive producer for the strawweight movie star.
That's cool.
And Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds cool. Sounds like it's based on the Rose Namajunas Carlos Perez's Tough 20 finale. Is that true? I did not read about it. Is it based on...
Oh, I didn't know that part.
No. I don't know if it's based on it. I don't even think there's a plot yet. Like, they just announced this movie is happening. Like, I would expect this movie to come out in, 2026, maybe.
Yeah, I was not under the impression that it was based on any real life thing.
I thought she'd be more just a consultant on fighting,
Yeah, I don't think it's based on her. I don't think it's based on her life.
Chavo Guerrero was the what do you call it? The stunt coordinator for the Iron Claw. I think Rose is going to be something similar for the strawweight.
From Us magazine, one young woman, Chloe Grace Moretz, discovers her passion for UFC, while the other woman, Lupita Nyong'o, is a former UFC champion fighting to reclaim her title. So I think it is just a original story, as it were. Stuart Little, super chat. Do all you have journalist degrees, or are you just fans? Both.
I am not a fan. I am not a fan.
Oh, you're not a fan.
Not a fan.
Jose, you're not a fan. Jose, you're not much of a fan either. I've heard.
Hey, we got movement. We got movement.
I got so much of I'm so much of a journalist. I cut my fandom out.
Wow. I have a sports journalism degree, so make of that what you will.
So do I. That's got a regular journalism degree.
I do not have an old school journalism degree. Unfortunately, I wish I did. I do not. So I answer that question. Real quick, Jose, someone asked, do you have a perfect movie? Because I was making the argument. I don't believe that there's such thing as a perfect movie, but I do. Do you have? Okay.
Toy Story 1, 2, and 3.
Perfect. You think they're flawless? I
100% think Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 are perfect movies.
Interesting. What if I
Because
hate
it's
Randy
one
Newman?
movie.
Which I don't.
All three of those movies.
Which I don't.
All three of those movies you can watch together.
Featured prelim, the number 7 ranked strawweight in the world, former Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion Mackenzie Dern.
Here she is. Plenty of time, too. Look very happy. She does not look like she's had any issues with the weight cut at all. We'll see right now.
Even.
116, the official weight for Mackenzie Dern.
116 for Mackenzie Dern, and her fight with Amanda Lemos is official. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, guys. She's just taking her time. She's taking it. We said that during the whole show. She's just taking her time. She took this fight on short notice. You know, cutting down to 115 is never fun, or 116 in this case. She came in like a ball of energy. Did not look drained. Did not. Maybe she's faking it. I don't know. But she looked pretty happy to be there. And that is it, guys. We got no misses. We are completely successful. They're gonna wrap up. Take that scale down. We'll see face-offs later today at the ceremonial weigh-ins.
And no backup fighter. No surprise backup.
No,
fighter.
yes, that's a good point. Now they haven't taken the scale away yet, but this is true as far as we know. And Jose, you've got your ear to the street. Usually, you haven't heard anything about a backup fighter for the main event, have you?
No, but we're hearing obviously rumblings of a possible replacement opponent for Marco Cejudo de Lima.
Oh, we're hearing rumblings, are we?
Yeah.
Would you like to come?
Wherever. Well, I mean, I don't think it's much of like hidden knowledge because it's out there on Twitter. I've seen a couple of reporters post about it, but apparently there was a scrambling to possibly try to get Junior Tafa to replace his brother Justin.
One Tafa as good as another, certainly.
But
that would be,
that's not like hidden knowledge. I've actually seen several journalists put that out there.
Yeah, and it would make a lot of sense if Junior's here. I mean, you know, and he's ready to fight. But I think that's probably not a good idea, right? I mean, we can live without a 12th fight on this card. We're okay. We can reschedule. Hopefully, if it's not too serious, whatever's going on with Justin Tafa. We should reschedule this, right? Apex cards need main events, people.
If you say so.
All right, Casey, Jose, unless you have more thoughts on this, will you be on the preview show later? I won't be.
I will be on the preview show later, but
then I won't ask you your predictions.
Are non-middleweights allowed to headline Apex cards these days?
It's only middleweights and heavyweights. I've heard they make an exception for heavyweights. I think occasionally random women's flyweight.
But when heavyweights headline the Apex, only one of them is allowed to be ranked, right?
Definitely, yes. You can. Yes, of course. Don't be absurd. Yes, of course.
No, you can't have ranked heavyweights headlining. Only one's allowed. Half ranked.
I am so glad that. What do we got? We got Anaheim this week, Mexico City next week, and then back to the Apex. Back to the Apex March 2nd. That's okay. Casey, should I do a quick? Jose, would you like to do the rundown?
No, I would not.
Okay, great. I'll do a quick one here while we're. Jose, thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure as always. Casey, can I do a quick rundown here of the weigh-ins while we sign off? Bye, Jose. Bye, Casey. Casey's also gone.
No, I'm here. Ready to do your rundown? Ready? Hold on.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, I got things going on. Hold on. All right, here we go. Let me get my keyboard out. Ooh, it's a nice keyboard. I like this keyboard. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Top of the card, guys. We have the featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski. Where's my? Oh, it's piano's coming up. Sorry, the piano's a little low. We have featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski going for his 6th consecutive successful title defense at featherweight. He came in at 144.5. And the undefeated challenger Ilia Topuria 144.5. Something's got to give. Neither of these men have ever lost at 145 pounds. Volkanovski, of course, the 2 lightweight losses to Makhachev, and then a distant welterweight loss to Corey Nelson way back in the day. And if you haven't seen that, guys, I have wrote about that at MMAfighting.com and see Volkanovski in a welterweight fight. It's as bizarre as you think it is. Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa, the co-main, both coming in 185.5, possibly fighting for a middleweight title shot. Geoff Neal, or at least one step closer. Geoff Neal, Ian Machado, Garry, welterweight grudge match. Both gentlemen made weight 170.5. Merab Dvalishvili coming in at 135 for his fight with former 2-division champion Henry Cejudo, also at 135. And then middleweights opening up the main card. Anthony Hernandez, 185.5. Roman Kopylov, 185. Oh!
Justin Tafa's brother, Junior.
Junior Tafa!
Junior
Tafa's coming up. Okay, so first we have Pizao. Marcos Rogerio de Lima is going to weigh in. Okay, this is interesting. Okay. I'm going to shut up.
$261.5.
I hear Marcos.
261 for Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
261.5 for Marcos Rogerio de Lima. And yes, we are waiting on Justin Tafa's brother, Junior Tafa.
Stepping up in a big way, Junior Tafa.
Here he is with over 5 minutes to spare. Junior Tafa just supposed to be cornering his brother and will instead be fighting. And I wonder if Justin will be in his corner. Now this is... He might not make it. Don't forget, Justin was the only heavyweight ever to miss weight in the UFC. So these are big. These are a couple of big boys. So Junior has not missed weight, but these are a couple of big boys. All right, no worries. They just wanted to get it right, I guess. 249 for Junior Tafa. I got to make a note here before I tell this to Amir. Well, as I was doing, you know what? The weigh-in rain dance worked. It summoned a Tafa to save this fight. Sorry, guys. We'll hear some rapid-fire typing right here. Sorry. Stepping in on last minute notice for Justin Tafa, Tufe, who has withdrawn this fight. But that is it. That is the end. We just heard that is the end, guys, of the weigh-ins. Wow, some late drama. So we are getting Tafa versus De Lima. Junior Tafa, not Justin Tafa, Junior Tafa will face Marcos Rogerio de Lima. So I guess the main card is going to get shuffled back to what it was before. The whole card, excuse me, the lineup. Tafa stepping in last minute, Justin Tafa. Who else? Okay. Let's just send that out. I am so confused right now. All right. I won't start again from the beginning. Casey, if you want to just resume the weigh-in music while we sign off here. As I said, middleweights. There we go. Opening up the main card. Anthony Hernandez, 185.5. Roman Kopylov, 185. Amanda Lemos and Mackenzie Dern closing out the prelims on ESPN. 115.5 for Amanda Lemos. 116 for Mackenzie Dern, who was the last fighter to weigh in until we found out that the Marcos Rogerio de Lima and Tafa fight was saved. Dern, it took a long time for it to get up there, but hey, no problems. 116. We just saw Marcos Rogerio de Lima weigh in 261.5 to face Junior Tafa, who came in at 249. Tafa stepping in for his brother Justin, who has had to withdraw due to injury, but we are still getting a heavyweight fight on Saturday. They had to save the card, Casey. You're right. They were probably going to cancel the card if we couldn't get a heavyweight fight on here. Rinya Nakamura coming in 135.5 for his bantamweight bout with Carlos Vera, 135.5. Zhang Mingyang, 204.5, being his debut against the also debuting Brendson Ribeiro, who came in at 205.5. Josh Quinlan, 169, faces Danny Barlow, 171. Val Woodburn, 169.5 for his fight with Oban Elliott at 170.5. And then flyweight veterans opening up the entire show, Andrea Lee, 125.5. Miranda Maverick, 126. That is the. Here, John Anik saying it is actually a 12 fight card. Thank you everyone for joining us. Where was the applause, Casey? It was. I didn't deserve it.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you everyone for joining us on the UFC 298 weigh-in show. I just look at the schedule here, guys, so you know what to tune in, because we got more programming coming up. You don't want to miss it. We have the preview show coming up now-ish, actually, probably. So round 2, probably need a second to settle down here. But Mike Heck, Jose, who you just got a little sample of there, and Shaheen Al-Shadi, along with producer Casey, will be doing the preview show. So stay tuned to our channels. That's coming up in probably 15 minutes, maybe half an hour. But it's coming up very soon. And then we will have the ceremonial weigh-ins, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, where you can see the last of the festivities. Maybe we get more Old Man Volk. I don't know. See what kind of antics we have there. Get some last quotes from the fighters. And then we got pre-fight Q&A tomorrow, guys. Also, 5:30-ish Eastern Time. Make sure to tune into that. But thank you, everyone, for joining in. This has been your host, Alexander K. Lee. I am signing off for Jose Youngs and, of course, the great Casey Leiden on site. Make sure you give him a tip of the cap for bringing you this quality video and this whole quality show. So thanks, everyone. Take care.